Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to the Shadow and Sun Show, and welcome back to another Ravenloft review. This afternoon, I am going to be going over Web of Illusion. Get that glare out of there. As you can see, it appears the main bad guy is a Rakshasa. One of my favorite monsters from the original Monster Manual. Let's see if I can grab a copy of that real quick here. And over the years, I've thrown many a Rakshasa at my players. So much so that I actually turned them into a playable race, so to speak. I really enjoyed them. There was so very little in the original Monster Manual. Just one short paragraph in addition to the stat block. 7 hit dice, damage 1 to 3, 1 to 3, 2 to 5, which is really rather subdued for something so nasty. And they can use magic user spells up to 3rd level, and cleric spells 1st level. And they're not affected by spells under 8th level, which really just makes them super devastating against magic users. They're that sort of immunity is almost unheard of anywhere else. That need a +3 weapon, but hits by a blessed crossbow bolt will kill them outright. It's pretty nasty, but at the same time, if the players know what they're dealing with and tap a good old crossbow bolt with a blessed spell and have any sort of decent accuracy, it's all over but the looting and pillaging of said Rakshasa. This one, however, is a bit tougher. He's an illusionist for the most part, hence the title, and the entire adventure dungeon aspect, his lair, is just chock full of so many layered illusions where you disbelieve one illusion and a different thing pops up, so they think it's this, but that's also an illusion and an illusion. But to get to that, you've got to go through some things, some very structured, railroady events to get to that actual point where you're going to deal with the bad guy in his lair. A couple of things I didn't like about this was there's no map, or at least if there was a map, I didn't get it when I bought the module used many years ago. And of course the railroady nature that I'm coming to discover that it made up a huge part of the Ravenloft storyline. Now, normally I would be up in arms against it, but when you're dealing with a horror campaign such as Ravenloft, you're going to have to put a little bit of that aside because you're trying to play out a story, which is not really my favorite way of playing. I've been in quite a few railroady situations, and sometimes that's what the game master in question, that's what they know how to do, and that's what they do. Eventually, I hope that those sort of GMs will get to the point where they can improvise and ad-lib as necessary, and let things go off the rails, if not completely just remove them entirely. But other than that, not a bad adventure for levels 7 to 9. There's a lot of other were creatures in here, and it's not a bad adventure. It's definitely better than some of the other ones, and because I'm a little biased, I really do like Rakshasa. This one is pretty tough, but I would definitely beef him up quite a bit. Give him some magic items and things like that. Ravenloft, is very uncomfortable with too much magic items, let alone much treasure, and that's definitely something deserved at the end of this adventure. You know, with most Ravenloft adventures, if you kill the bad guy, you don't really have much time to gather up the loot because you're going to be transported somewhere else as the realm you're in ceases to exist or comes crumbling down around the players, and they need to get the heck out of Dodge. You know, especially in today's environment, that's just not going to go over well. I recommend that you maybe, you know, let them get to the treasure, you know, the vault or what have you, before they get to the monster, so they get something out of it. Otherwise, you know, it's just going to not, you know, be as rewarding as the players would like. I know a lot of you don't care. You're like, nope, no treasure. They get nothing. I'm going to keep them poor. If that's the way you roll, you know, that's fine. But with so many of these adventures ending with them being forcefully ejected from the realm, I can see how players would be like, yeah, let's just get the hell out of Ravenloft permanently. We're done. There's literally no treasure to be had anywhere. And the one or two times that I've encountered anything worthy of note, it was cursed to hear, literally killing the players in a matter of days just because of the curse. Now, the adventure is somewhat reliant on the players obtaining a certain artifact that needs to be reforged and turned into the silver crossbow bolt that will kill this particular individual. I find that just a little bit too one way, because it's a crossbow bolt, and if you miss, you're only going to get one shot at it before the bad guy, you know, either scoops it up or hides it with a, you know, half dozen illusions before you can blink, and you'll never find the damn thing. So I would definitely allow them the old school option of being able to bless another crossbow bolt or 6 and taking their shot. But I wouldn't let that come too easily, and I wouldn't let them know that that's who they were indeed fighting until, you know, you've knocked off a couple of illusions and then find out, oh, we've been fighting this guy the whole time. Okay, time to break out the crossbow bolt. Otherwise, it's not going to end too well for the players. But all that being said, it is fun. I do like the adventure leading up to the lair of the Rakshasa. The NPCs are interesting. The different factions that are fighting over the realm and that sort of thing, and the players more or less being hunted as soon as they get there because they're outsiders, and you know, the Rakshasa Lord knows that only an outsider can kill him, so you know, they're hunted down and ostracized by everybody. Makes things a little tough. There is one interesting NPC, a lawful good thief, if you can imagine that, that sort of tags along with the party, sort of a street urchin that will, you know, never leave their side unless she gets killed, which I don't recommend. I like the idea of keeping her alive, or you know, maybe if you have to kill her off, really make it poignant and you know, it's a bit of a tearjerker. But other than that, it's not a bad one. I'm going to be doing one more Ravenloft review before I call it quits for the year, because December is right around the corner and I have other plans. I'm probably going to review Hollow World, which I should probably take out now, because I do have the box set, so I'll be reviewing that after I get through reading it. These have taken me quite a bit of time to read. They're roughly about 60 pages, and for whatever reason, it just kind of is taking me a little bit longer to be able to sit down and read these modules in any sort of, you know, timely fashion. But rest assured, I'll get to the rest of the ones I own next October, and by then I should actually have a few more, and maybe I can do a little bit more deep diving, because I do have a hardback book and I think another box set and some other modules from Ravenloft that I would like to review. But I'm getting a little burnt. Halloween's over. I'm getting into the festive spirit, so bear with me. If there are any reviews you'd like me to, or modules you'd like me to review next year, feel free to put them in the comment section, and I will try to hunt them down, especially if you guys had like a favorite module and you're curious what my opinion is. I'll definitely be picking some up after the holidays when the prices drop. You guys all know my eBay strategies. You can check them out if you don't. They're somewhere without a pachow. But other than that, I hope you guys had a great Thanksgiving. The boys and I had a wonderful, nice little vacation. Got a lot of stuff done. Had a lot of fun, and it was nice and peaceful for the most part. But the weather is definitely changing. I'm going to be doing a lot of firewood chopping, so you probably won't see me much this week except for the other Ravenloft review I'm going to do. I'll probably do a prepper video with Bo this week as well, but other than that, you'll just have to wait for the live streams in the evening times. But I appreciate you guys hanging out. We're almost at 750 subs, but let's get Brian from Weird World War II up, not just to 500, but let's get him past that. He so deserves it. He's been working on his channel for probably over 10 years now, I think, and the fact that he's only at 490 something just seems like a crime against humanity. And if you're not fond of those, or even if you are, go over there, subscribe. Weird WWII, Weird World War II. Go check out his channel. I guarantee you'll find something you like there, even if you're not a World War II fan. He's a fun guy, one of the best guys out there. Please do me that solid. I appreciate it. I will talk to you guys before the end of the month, which gives me just a couple of days. So bear with me, but I'll be right on that as soon as possible. And until then, folks, have a great day. Really appreciate everything you guys have been doing for us. And until next time, happy trails.